Drivers, start your engines!
This is MRN Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse. One full hour of news, interviews, and opinion about the past weekend's racing action. Brought to you by Hercules Tires.
Pace car is on.
Now here are your hosts, Woody Cain and Kim Coon.
Green flag, green flag.
This is Motorsports Monday, but it is not Monday. It is Thursday as you're watching this, and this is not Joey Meyer. It's Kim Coon back with us. Welcome back.
Back again. Joey is slacking off again.
Somebody's got to pick up his problems, you get to be the one this time. It feels like it's been minutes since I've seen you.
I know. Remember, I'm in stunt double, though. Or he's my stunt double. I don't know how it works.
So is this the good one or the evil twin?
I don't know.
All right, we'll find out. Find out as we go
viewers.
along. A lot of weather in Pocono, but a huge, huge win for Chris Buescher, and he's going to join us on the show today.
I'm so excited to talk to him, but that weather was crazy. We had about every single possible type of weather except for snow. And Brandon, track president Ignasi, said, I'm sorry I couldn't get you snow, too.
Now, he had everything else. Maybe locust was still on the list out there somewhere that we didn't get. Let's hope it's nice in Watkins Glen this weekend. But we want to remind you that Motorsports Monday is presented by Outback Steakhouse. And because Kevin Harvick had a great day, you had that Bloomin' Monday, the Bloomin' Onion. That's costing them a ton of money. But you should check out their lunch specials starting at $6.99. The Joey menu, which Joey Meyer thinks is all about him, but it's not. It's actually the kids menu. And check out their new app that they've got. It's fantastic. You can call ahead seating with it. You can divide up your bill at the table. All that's going on at Outback Steakhouse, plus the new center cut sirloin as well. If you want to play along with us, 844-4ASK-MRN is our fan forum hotline. On Twitter, it is at MRN Radio. Mine is at WY Cain. His. See, I did it already. She's not Joey Meyer. She's really not. It's at Kimmy Coon. If you want to play along with us, use that hashtag AskMRN so we can find you. Now we go to Watkins Glen. Road course racing. Chris Buescher's a pretty good road racer, and there are a number of guys who could throw this thing into a situation where we see someone other than the usual cast of characters going to victory lane.
Yeah, it should definitely be interesting. Chris Buescher, again, a good road course racer. We saw him win at Mid-Ohio in the Xfinity Series. I'm interested to see how he does against the Cup competition. That field is stacked pretty high, though. We talk about those road course ringers or the guys that are really good, the Tony Stewarts, Jeff Gordon we get to see in the seat this weekend. Everybody mentions A.J. Allmendinger. But I was actually asked, would I take A.J. or the field? Because, again, he snuck in the chase back in 2014 with that Watkins Glen Sprint Cup win. But I would take the field. There's so much good talent now on road course that,
And so many things can go wrong.
Yeah, and for AJ, he's finished 14th or worse in the last 3 road courses we've been to, just out of bad luck and different things.
A little stat action there, huh?
Stat.
How about that?
Yeah, so, when I was asked that, I said I had to take the field.
Yeah,
There's just, again, so much talent now, and people seem to be getting better and better at road courses. Some of the guys that had struggled at the beginning have now kind of honed in on that. So we'll see. One
guy who's a little bit of an underrated road racer is Brad Keselowski, and he started sort of a little Twitter kerfuffle when he was at Pocono. You like that, kerfuffle?
Yeah.
Normally, that's one of Joey's words of the day right there. I was waiting for that. Thank you very much, Daryl. So he had a little bit of a commentary because he, in the practice session, tore up a race car at Watkins Glen and then was asked about that whole incident. Listen to what Brad Keselowski had to say.
Yeah, I understand the whole tire barrier concept. In general, I'm not comfortable with tracks that have, runoffs that lead to very harsh angles, and that's certainly the situation that track has and always has had it. Road courses remain the most dangerous tracks in motorsports for good reason because of that. But we know that going in. Some place has to be the safest, some place has to be the most dangerous. It's funny because a lot of times we end up talking about Daytona and Talladega, and they don't ever worry me as much as road courses do. I can promise you that.
So I think a lot of people took that as he was trying to bash Watkins Glen. I didn't take it that way at all.
I didn't take it that way at all. Again, he had to say something has to be the most dangerous, and he actually had a lot of backing on Twitter. I saw some other drivers and industry people agree with that statement, and those are tricky, some of those turns, but it hasn't stopped him from some good performances. 3 runner-up finishes in 6 Watkins Glen races. So to your point, he's become one of those drivers that we watch when we go to road courses.
And he'll be in the Xfinity race as well. Quick timeout here on Motorsports Monday on a Thursday. When we come back, Chris Buescher, the most recent winner in the Sprint Cup Series, joins us.
This is MRN Motorsports Monday.
In the Outback, we think the best part about racing is the noise, the engine, the pits, and a Kevin Harvick top 10 finish. Especially a Kevin Harvick top 10 finish. That's because if Kevin Happy Harvick, driver of the number 4 Chevrolet, places in the top 10 in today's race, there's free bloomin' onions this Monday. So you'll have a happy bloomin' Monday. Only at Outback Steakhouse. Valid with any purchase. One per table. Participation may vary. Registered trademarks used with permission.
Live sports are the one true reality entertainment, where a single dramatic moment can become timeless. In NASCAR, Motor Racing Network's live broadcasts elevate your senses to the sights, sounds, and struggles taking place on the racetrack.
One final lap in the Daytona 500. Joey Logano has the point. Junior crosses over.
The power of radio to the imagination of the listener. Tune in to the Motor Racing Network. Visit MRN.com for an affiliate list in your local area.
Hey, this is Joey Logano, and you're listening to MRN Motorsports Monday.
Last year's winner at Watkins Glen, bringing us back here on Motorsports Monday on a Thursday. And joining us now is the guy who's the most recent winner in the Sprint Cup Series, rookie Chris Buescher, although he is the 2015 Xfinity Series champion. Chris, congratulations on the huge win and welcome to the program.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That was a pretty wild weekend, so glad we were able to pull it off and have a little bit of have a lot of great strategy and got a little bit lucky as well.
I have to ask, what was going through your head? They pulled the cars down pit road when the fog rolled in. You sat under red for quite a while before they even let you out of the car. What in the world were you thinking at that point? And then for that, hour plus that they waited to call the race.
Yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking just sitting out there. And I had a pretty good feeling that it wasn't going to rain, and I'd been told that the radar looked decent still. And the thing is, the fog is a little bit less predictable. And on one side, I've been at Pocono when they've canceled a race due to fog. I was in an ARCA race that they called short, and it just, once it rolls in, it doesn't go anywhere. It just stays there, and you're stuck. And all I could think about was that ARCA race and wishing selfishly that we would have a very similar situation.
Hey, that's there's no problem with that. You'll take what you can get, as tough as it is at the top level. Chatting with Chris Buescher at Front Row Motorsports. He drove the Dockside Logistics Ford to a victory at Pocono Raceway on a Monday this week. And Chris, give folks an idea what your week has been like since then, because it's been something of a whirlwind, hasn't it, ever since you left Pocono?
Yeah, it definitely has. With it getting pushed back to Monday, it kind of pushed our whole week back. We actually left straight from Pocono. We got on plane, and 6 hours worth of flight time later, we found ourselves in Utah for a little bit of road racing instruction. Stayed out there for basically all of Tuesday. Got as many laps as we possibly could in, with help from some other Ford road course experts. Brandon Davis was out there, Billy Johnson was out there, just trying to really dial in our Watkins Glen stuff and technique, I guess, from a driver's standpoint. Obviously, we can't test the actual cars that we're going to be racing. And then as we made our 5-hour trip back, we made good time on the way back. We got back to the house about 11 last night, got a little bit of a nap, and honestly, I think I've been on the phone for probably close to 3 hours today, so we're doing pretty good.
Well, you're no slouch on road courses. I know you had a little bit of trouble last season when you visited Watkins Glen in the Sprint Cup Series, but you finished third in the Xfinity Series race, and you've got an Xfinity win at Mid-Ohio. How are you feeling going into this weekend with that added pressure to break into the top 30?
Yeah, I'm excited for road course racing. I absolutely love it. It's just something that's different. It's not something that I grew up doing. It's never been a huge focus, but it's something that just breaks up our season a little bit, gets everybody to start thinking a little bit differently. Take some chances and try and learn every time we go to get faster. And for me, we're going to go to Watkins Glen. We were at the test there with Front Row Motorsports right before Pocono. We learned some things that we're going to be able to take back this time with our primary car, and we're going to go get some speed out of it. So the new repave, they did an excellent job up there. It's really smooth. We have great braking zones. The curbs are Probably a little bit more aggressive than they were last time we were there, but like I said, they did a really nice job, and we're excited to get there. And I think it's a really good opportunity for us to break into the top 30 in points and get those handful that we need.
Yeah, only 6 points out of the top 30, of course. You have to be in the top 30 with the win to qualify for the chase. And certainly a road course would be a good place statistics-wise for you to do that. But I got to ask you, when you go to Utah and try and pick up some things and hone your skills, I mean, your championship season in Xfinity, you started and finished top 10 in all 3 road races there. What kinds of things specifically were you looking to work on and looking to get better at?
We've been able to run very well at road races, and we've had good cars for the road racing backgrounds that we've gone to all the different racetracks. And for myself, I'm always trying to get better. Guys are better at getting farther down the corner than I am, and being able to in talking with some other road course guys, they're able to adjust the balance of their car, because you're never going to have it perfect for both lefts and rights. There's a sacrifice one way or the other. And where I think the guys that do this every week are so much better is they're able to adjust what they do inside the car, how they turn down in the corner, how they come off the brakes or stay on the brakes, to change the balance of the race car to make sure that they get as much out of it as possible. And that's what I'm always trying to work on, is make sure that I can get a better adaptation to different corners and be able to pick up the speed there.
We're talking about Watkins Glen and the potential to break into that top 30 and grab one of those 16 chase spots. However, if you break into the top 30, you have to stay in the top 30. And not only do we have Watkins Glen, we got to go to Michigan, Bristol, Richmond, Darlington. Yeah. Out of those tracks, which are you most looking forward to and could potentially help you hold on to that top 30 spot if you were able to break in, and which are maybe going to be a little bit trickier and could give you some trouble?
Honestly, I was excited about all of those racetracks you just said there. So I think we're in really good shape. We had really good speed at Michigan. Our mile-and-a-half stuff has been getting really, really good this year. It's heading in the right direction. Bristol, we had great speed and finished decent there. We found ourselves on the bottom for all of those late race restarts, and that cost us a lot of track position. Richmond's probably one that we need the most work on. We need to get some more improvement there. But when we look past that one and you talk about Darlington, is my favorite track that we go to. I absolutely love that track. I have not run there in a Cup car, so I don't know exactly what to expect, but I had an absolute blast in the Xfinity car there. We were able to get a top 5 last year, leaving there, and really pick up a lot of points going into the end of the season for the championship. So I really like where we're at. I like the tracks that we're getting ready to head to, and I'm really happy that Talladega is in the chase and not before the chase. So it just takes away that one race that I'm really worried about, being how our luck has been at the other 3 this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Chatting with Chris Buescher, who will drive the number 34 CSX Play It Safe Ford at Watkins Glen International this weekend. But, Chris, you mentioned Michigan there. I wanted to take a little side trip here. We learned recently that we're going back to Michigan with that even lower downforce package. What did you think of it in general the first time we went to Michigan?
I think it makes it very difficult to drive. It makes it out of control on restarts. It makes it on edge for a lot of the race, but it makes it sliding around a lot more. Makes for some really great racing. I can't tell you how many times we'd go down the corner on restart and watch the guy on the bottom slide across 3 lanes and end up at the top of 4 wide, just all over the place. And I think we saw a lot of the same thing in Kentucky. Unfortunately, it was a lot of torn up equipment at Kentucky when you just don't have quite as much room to recover. But I think that the package has been good for Fords, for Front Row, for Roush-Fenway, for all of our teams. Every time we take away a little bit more downforce, we seem to be able to pick up a little bit more.
So you notched your first win, and you did it as a rookie. Outside of that, though, how would you rate your team's season so far, especially compared to the expectations maybe you had at the beginning of the year for you guys?
I expected a pretty steep learning curve. I didn't think we'd come in here and be running top 5 every week. I mean, it's not reasonable. But I definitely wish that we'd have progressed a little bit faster. It took us a while to really get some speed, and we still haven't been able to get all the finishes that we would like. But with the last 6 to 8 weeks, I feel like we've been picking up a lot of momentum. We've been unloading off the truck better. We've been qualifying better. We've been able to race better and be there at the end and get a handful of good finishes that have really been digging ourselves out of the much larger points deficit that we had to the 30th place spot when we left Daytona. So, we're not where we want to be yet. We know that we constantly need to be working to get better speed out of our cars and head in the right direction. But it's a work in progress, and we're on the right trend.
Fantastic, man. Chris, we appreciate your time. Congratulations on that big first win for you and Front Row Motorsports, first rookie to win in the Cup Series this year, and look forward to catching up with you at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, I appreciate it very much. We look forward to taking our CSX forward to the Glen and having hopefully a top 10 run there. I'm excited about that road race.
There you go, man. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
There you go. How about that? That's just such a cool story. I always love it when we get somebody new in victory lane, but to see a rookie win, and it wasn't Chase Elliott or one of the other guys that we thought it might be, like Ryan Blaney, and it turns out to be Chris Buescher.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
That was the buzz. I think the biggest buzz on social media was who had Chris Buescher being the first rookie to win out of this rookie class we have this year. All of them very talented. But remember, Chris is our defending 2015 Xfinity Series champion, so great to see him in victory lane. And like you, I like to see different faces, new faces.
Absolutely, me too. Okay, another break here on Motorsports Monday on a Thursday. When we come back, we'll do on-track, off-track, and look ahead a little bit further, hear from a couple of more drivers about what they expect at Watkins Glen this weekend.
This is MRN Motorsports Monday.
In the Outback, we think the best part about racing is the noise, the engine, the pits, and a Kevin Harvick top 10 finish. Especially a Kevin Harvick top 10 finish. That's because if Kevin Happy Harvick, driver of the number 4 Chevrolet, places in the top 10 in today's race, there's free bloomin' onions this Monday. So you'll have a happy bloomin' Monday. Only at Outback Steakhouse. Valid with any purchase. One per table. Participation may vary. Registered trademarks used with permission.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, right on our strength.
Woody's Roundup, right here every day. Woody's Roundup, come on, it's time to play.
Okay, really? Did you set me up on that?
I don't know, but I love it. It's so great.
Thanks a lot, Daryl and Kim and Robbie and everybody behind the scenes. Okay, let's get into a little on-track, off-track here now, where we talk about some things that we think are going well in the sport and some things that maybe aren't going quite so well. Kim, what's going well?
Going well, Tony Stewart. He is on track. He notched his 4th top 5 this past weekend in Pocono, and that was more top 5s than he'd had in the 2 seasons combined. And I think at the beginning of the season, with him out of the car for so long, they have a new rookie crew chief on the pit box that there weren't very high expectations for that team, especially in Tony's retirement year. But man, he is proving everyone wrong, and I love it, and I hope he keeps it up.
I thought for sure you were going to say Bugga, just because that's fun to say. Mike Bugger-Ravage is crew chief, of course. That's just fun to say.
Yeah.
For me, on track is the rookies this past season. It's this past week, rather. It's the first time in NASCAR history that rookies have swept the weekend. Of course, we mentioned Chris Buescher winning on the road, or Pocono, headed to the road course this week. We had William Byron getting his fifth win of the season in the Truck Series. Yeah, at Pocono as well. And then Eric Jones, a rookie, even though he doesn't seem like a rookie anymore, as good as he is over at Iowa, winning in the Xfinity Series. All 3 rookies winning all 3 races this weekend. That was just special to see, talking about wanting to see new faces up there.
It's crazy to think about that it's never happened, but I guess it is kind of a difficult thing to have all 3 series have rookie winners, but how cool.
And in the same weekend,
yeah,
too. I mean,
that's what I'm saying,
what are
in
the
the
odds?
same weekend.
Yeah.
Obviously not very good since it's never happened before.
pretty good. But
they broke the mold.
You look down the list and you expect everybody, I think, thought maybe Chase Elliott would be the guy on the Cup side who would get it, and he is 13th in the standings right now. Ryan Blaney is 18th in the standings as a rookie. You look on the Xfinity side, Eric Jones is 4th in the standings as a rookie. William Byron is leading things in the Truck Series as a rookie, and then Christopher Bell, 6th in the standings there in the Truck Series, so it's been a really good time for rookies. Okay, let's go to the other side now. What's not going quite so well?
Off track was the weather this past weekend.
Yeah.
I think we can agree on that.
Yep.
It was the first time a single track had been delayed for weather in both races they held in a single season.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we had everything up in the Pocono Mountains except for snow.
Yeah, maybe locust or something like that. We had fog, we had rain, we had drizzle, we had weepers.
We had
you name it.
sunshine.
Yeah, we did, and that wasn't a problem other
Yeah.
than I learned this weekend that the sun makes the weepers worse. It brings it up to the surface and makes it worse. I thought we might have more of a problem with that on Monday than we did.
Yeah, no. I was actually very surprised we got 138 laps in. I'm thankful.
Well, my off track is the weather as well. And just the week before, when Joey was back in here filling in for you, I'm going to say that to you, Joey, so that you take that for whatever it's worth. I was going, please let this heat stop. Well, it did, so I'm not making those wishes anymore. We got the rain instead, and that wasn't quite so good.
Yeah. Nothing you want to ever see at the racetrack. Although this weekend in Watkins Glen, they do have rain tires.
Yes, they do.
And
No. You're not allowed to say that.
If it's a downpour.
Wet weather tires.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to be politically correct.
Wet weather tires.
Atta girl.
That's a mouthful.
There you go. Yeah. Say that 3 times fast and try not to laugh.
Tongue twister.
All right, another time out on Motorsports Monday. When we come back, we'll preview Watkins Glen. Stick around.
This is MRN Motorsports Monday.
In the Outback, we think the best part about racing is the noise, the engine, the pits, and a Kevin Harvick top 10 finish. Especially a Kevin Harvick top 10 finish. That's because if Kevin Happy Harvick, driver of the number 4 Chevrolet, places in the top 10 in today's race, there's free bloomin' onions this Monday. So you'll have a happy bloomin' Monday. Only at Outback Steakhouse. Valid with any purchase. 1 per table. Participation may vary. Registered trademarks used with permission.
Join the Motor Racing Network every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. Get the latest news and exclusive interviews from the biggest names in the sport.
One thing, don't take yourself too seriously. Don't worry about people judging and just...
Hear the thoughts and opinions from NASCAR insiders.
Look at what he's been able to do with the Wood brothers since they returned to full-time competition this year. Now, obviously...
It's NASCAR Live every Tuesday evening at 7 Eastern on the Motor Racing Network.
Hi, this is Austin Dillon. Now back to MRN Motorsports Monday.
It's amazing. You take the truck ride around before the race. I mean, it's there's not an empty seat in the house. All the campgrounds are you got people, looks like 5-10 rows deep lined up at the fence. I mean, it's just it's a great feeling, and the crowd gets pumped up for it. Everybody in this area loves NASCAR, so you feel their energy level. And when I was able to win in 14, I mean, that race was, I think, 5.5 hours long, 5 hours long between all the red flags, and nobody left. I mean, it was to go around and see everybody cheering, and the crowd that was still in the grandstands when I got out of the car. I mean, it just makes it a fun event to come to because you feel the passion that the fans have for this sport. So and to me, that's what stands out. Road course racing, it lends itself for a lot of opportunities of passing, for mistakes, for strategy. And that's what makes this race so crazy, is the fact that there's so much strategy that goes on. A yellow at the wrong time. I saw a couple years in a row with Marcus Ambrose, had a chance to win the race. Yellow falls at the wrong time. Now he's restarting 20th, having to get back up through the field. So it's just a great racetrack. I think the repave is done really well. I mean, it's smooth. I think the racing's still going to be great. It's not going to change anything. So it's always a place I look forward to coming to. It's good memories, and just it's a fun place to get around.
That's A.J. Allmendinger, one of the guys who we expect to be a favorite, among the favorites at Watkins Glen this weekend. A couple things jumped out at me there. One, they have had great crowds for the past several years at Watkins Glen. And he mentioned the repave and the fuel strategy thing. This is one where the crew chiefs will typically figure it backwards and how few stops can I make this on. as he mentioned, sometimes it
works
works
it-
and
yeah.
sometimes it doesn't. So
Sometimes
we
it-
may see some craziness.
Sometimes it doesn't work in their favor, but I love road courses, and it doesn't surprise me that the fans come out in full force for it because it's a totally different vibe than when we visit ovals. It makes for a fun afternoon, especially regardless of whether you're at Watkins Glen or Sonoma. You can kind of find a hillside spot,
Yeah.
pack a picnic.
Old school.
Yeah, it's like old school. And, Watkins Glen is such a cool area in general that I love going up there.
A couple of the guys that participated in the test that we've heard from already and since when we talked to some guys at Pocono say the new repave at Watkins Glen has an awful lot of grip, and we heard there's a harder tire there than we have had in the past. So some guys are trying to figure things out in terms of where can we pass, how can we pass. You heard some talk earlier about the braking zones from Brad Keselowski and some other guys as well. Chris Buescher talked about it. I think all this might be a little bit new and might lend itself to another fresh face in Victory Lane.
It would be a 13th different winner, which at this point, very cool. But we'll have
Would
to
you have bet that before the season?
Not before the season.
Yeah.
As we progress into the season, yes. But again, I want to see as many winners as possible. I know last week we talked about hopefully getting into where maybe there's only one spot, maybe 15 different winners, so that when we hit Richmond, there's only one spot that somebody can get in by points, and that just makes them that more aggressive to get that final chase spot. But in terms of Watkins Glen, I think we're really going to have to wait and see in practice what these teams are up to, their strategy, how different drivers are going to perform with the new repave, the new tire. It might make for a difficult practice coverage because all those teams are going to be elbows deep in getting as much data as they can before Sunday.
Speaking of that, you'll be able to hear Kim on those practice sessions if you grab the free MRN app. It's on Google Play and at the iTunes Store on Apple. You can check out all of our practice sessions. We'll stream those as well on MRN.com, and qualifying will be on that as well. So those are a couple of good ways you can take MRN with you anywhere you go during the weekend. But I think you're right. Those practice sessions are going to be really intense, and some guys are going to be really trying to get things dialed in under circumstances that are a little bit different than what they're used to. And to that end, Austin Dillon was one of the guys who participated in that test. He talks about how the track surface was coming in, what he thought of it, and compares it to road racing at Sonoma.
Well, it seems to be the same Watkins Glen, just with a lot of grip, a lot of speed out there, and it's how bad you want to go get it. It's fun. I've enjoyed it so far. I do like the S's with all the grip that it has up through there, and we're just trying to kind of work on the car and get the stopping power better so I can brake harder and get in the corner faster. Here is going to be front turn and just roll speed. Sonoma is rear drive, strictly just straight braking power and rear drive because you have no grip there. Now you have all the grip in the world here, and Sonoma there's absolutely no grip. It's like running on a gravel, so it's tough.
Interesting to hear him talk about brakes because that was a big discussion with that team at Pocono as well because they had the brake failure before the race before, and to hear him talk about how differently it is. It's all rear drive when you're talking about Sonoma, and now you're going to have a different ball game at Watkins Glen.
Yeah, throws them for a loop, but that team has dialed in the brakes. I talked with them in Pocono, and whatever issues they had, they're not concerned about now. I don't know if that will be the same for a road course because obviously so much different on the car in terms of what they're having to deal with, so we'll have to see.
Along those lines, I thought it was interesting as well. They had Dr. Eric Warren, the competition director, in from Richard Childress Racing, along with Danny Stockman, the new crew chief for Paul Menard, who's also going to be in the Xfinity race, by the way, talking about they're using two different manufacturers of brakes at the same time.
Yeah, for the front and the rear, which I thought was very, very interesting, but they know more than I do. Yeah. Don't ask me, but put it in the hands of the experts. But that was very interesting.
Hey, you've got a list there, Kim. The Xfinity race on Saturday. There are a slew of Cup drivers in that thing.
There are Paul Menard, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson. One of them will probably. If I had to put money on it, I would take the Cup guys over some of the Xfinity.
All right, there you go. You heard it here first. You heard Kim say it first. We'll have some practice sessions on the MRN app as well. Don't forget, on Saturday, we will have the Xfinity Series race beginning at 1:30 Eastern. On Sunday, the Cheez-It 355 at the Glen comes your way 1:30 on Sunday. Kim and I will be co-hosting the pre-race show there, so tune all that in this weekend, folks. And we'll see you right back here next Monday for Motorsports Monday.
You've been listening to MRN Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Tune in again next Monday at noon Eastern for all the latest news, results, and interviews from NASCAR on MotorRacingNetwork.com. Brought to you by Hercules Tires. MRN Motorsports Monday is also available on demand at the MotorRacingNetwork.com Media Center. Or you can download it from iTunes or Stitcher. MRN Motorsports Monday is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.